Hello, everybody. Today, Iran's going to form an empire. So here we are. Iran is in the red, and they are going to be going on a conquest of their own. So, put the capitals on so you can see what we're taking over. The very first thing that's going to happen is the. Okay. Not the whole world. The attack on Turkmenistan. Iranian forces, as once again they are completely buffed by me and there are no alliances, will absolutely sweep through Turkmenistan, capturing Mary and Turkmenabat and capturing the whole eastern region within a few days. They also push into the west to capture Turkmenbashi, which they do, and from here they kind of start to collapse as all their exports are now blocked. All the planes leaving Turkmenistan, including civilian ones, are shot down. Yeah, I know, not very nice. Iran decides to focus all its forces from both sides on Ashgabat, which they do successfully. And after Dashagas falls, yeah, they're gone. Yeah. Peace treaty here. Very self-explanatory. What happened is this. Yeah, that's it. They're gone. Goodbye. And without even having time to breathe or even fully annex the territory, Iran is on their next conquest. Now going for Afghanistan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Uzbekistan. Yeah, they really want to expand. The world is like, okay, whoa, slow down here. Without even thinking about it, Iranian forces enter into Afghanistan. They try to do a few encirclement movements, but they don't really work because once again, it is not that easy to control and maintain Afghanistan when you're fighting other countries at the same time, or if you're in a completely different spot in the world. So yeah, Afghanistan pushes Iran back all the way to the border, and Iran is like, okay, we're not going to do that straight away then. So Afghanistan is not the first priority. The first priority is knocking these Asian countries out so they can push in from the north as well. Iranian forces advance into this region, capturing Nukus, and I think this is called Karakal, Pakistan, or something like that. So yeah, they capture the whole thing. They push down into this region. They also push into western Tajikistan, capturing the city up here. I think it's called Kujand. No, yeah, it is. However, the Uzbek military manages to push back and keep their vital supply lines open. Here we are, as you can see, forces slowly advancing through. Bukhara is on the chopping block, and after intense fighting, the city falls. Same with Samarkand, which also falls. And Uzbekistan from here starts to collapse, as their only main area is the Fergana Valley and Tashkent. Now the Battle of Dushanbe, but that falls very quickly. And from here, Tajikistan almost surrenders, and then we have this, whatever this thing is over here, also surrendering. This now no. This now opens a new front for the Afghanis to fight in the north, which is, yeah, not good. Well, not good for them at least, but good for Iran. Iranian forces now push into Kyrgyzstan from the south, capturing Osh and pushing into the Fergana Valley very easily as it's quite flat. The final main resistance is in Tashkent for Uzbekistan, as this area is very well defended and it's a fierce battle. Same with Bishkek. All the Kyrgyz military flees to Bishkek. The rest of the civilians flee as refugees into Kazakhstan and Western China. Uzbek ones go into Kazakhstan, while the Kyrgyz go into Kazakhstan and China. Anyway, Bishkek is the first to fall, and after a few more weeks, Tashkent does as well. Now, the entire Iranian military is focused on Afghanistan, and from here it doesn't go too well, as now Iran launches its first air blockade along the entire thing, and any planes coming in and out of Afghanistan are immediately bombed unless they are Afghani. So yeah, not good. Do not invade. So now the Iranians, because once again they might have a terrain advantage compared to the Soviets and Americans, as they are used to this kind of terrain. This is what their country is like themselves. So Iranian forces push in. And after a heavy, intense bombing across the country, Herat falls. And after this, the support for the Taliban starts to greatly decrease. After they reach Kabul on all sides, huge, intense street fighting, building to building fighting is occurring in Kabul, same in Kandahar, and a few uprisings occur in Herat, which allows for the Afghani military to push back and gain a larger foothold. However, the Iranians are right back again, encircling all forces in Herat and capturing it like that. They attempt to split the both in two, which they do successfully. Kandahar is left on its own, and eventually the city falls, and so does Kabul. So yeah, after months or even years, 1 to 2 years of fighting, Iran gets all at once, and full annexation for everybody. Lovely. You'll see why I did all of them at the same time. First of all, shorter video. Second of all, I wanted to. Third of all, good borders. Because if you invaded one at a time, it would not look very good on the border. So yeah. So as you can see, we are going to fully annex all of this land. Fully annex all of this. Until we have something like this. And yep, so it's Uzbekistan. So now we have a greater Iran, and I think this looks really cool personally. Next on Iran's list is the nation of Azerbaijan. This does not go down very well with Turkey, who does have actually joined the war, as they are sick and tired of this Iranian regime taking over everybody, especially their allies. So yeah, they're finally in it. This is going to play interesting, as now Iran has got almost an equal competitor. Iranian forces, firstly, push into the south over here and attempt to push into the exclave. However, they are completely pushed back, as this is the area where the most Turkish forces are. They push into something like this and create a solid front line in the north. Iranian forces know the threat of the Turkish, so they immediately send most of their forces. They put a defensive hold on the this region over here and send most of their forces into Azerbaijan to knock them out as quick as they can. After the west falls, it's just a front on the east, and Baku falls eventually. This is not good, as now Turkey is having to fight one-on-one with Iran, and I'd say at this point, Iran might even be stronger than them. Because remember, buff. So yeah, Turkish forces are pushed all the way back to the border. Iran captures the exclave, and now they start to enter into eastern Turkey. And they start to completely flood into this region. They push something like this. And while they're at it, they also invade and occupy Armenia, which they do successfully. And that's also going to count as well. As you can see, Iran is continuing to push in now, approaching the city of Trabzon on the northern coast, encircling it as well. However, once Turkey fully introduces conscription, they're able to completely push back all the way to the Iraqi border, pushing back even further, and now starting to push along the Georgian border until we get something like this. But Turkey is proving to be very difficult for Iran to go in. So, a good old, maybe not necessarily historical friend, but a very large enemy of Turkey. The biggest rival, not necessarily, but historical rivals, everything. Greece has jumped in the party. Greek forces, because people underestimate Greece, I'm not going to lie. They've got a very strong navy, almost, if not as strong as the Turkish one, so they'd be able to hold off here. But their military is not strong, but with Iran, this mega Iranian thing coming, it might be easier than you'd think. So, Turkish forces are completely caught by surprise. Maybe not, but they are. As now, Greek forces make a landing down here. The only thing is they don't have many numbers, because they've only got like 12 million people. I didn't actually know they were that small. forces push along and capture this whole peninsula, the Thracian Peninsula. They also land over here, this region of Turkey, and on this little peninsula, and the Battle of Izmir begins. Until we get something like this. Until all of a sudden the Turkish forces arrive, and then it doesn't go as well. They are still able to control this area over here. This little point is a good strategic location. And this little bit down here. They also, and they end up pushing back over here though, so. But this allows for the Iranians to capture a lot more land, as now Turkey is distracted, and this is showing. So now Turkey is getting rather jumped, if you'd say so. They're approaching on Diyarbakir, and they continue to push along the coast. Now, once again, threatening Trabzon. They continue to push into the Turkish area. Greece once again makes their landing. However, Turkey has a firm defensive line on the west, which is helping them spare some more troops to once again push back the Iranians. And the Iranians are very pissed off now, because they're like, come on, please, let me invade you. It isn't going too well, though. So, they're going to need a new friend. Who can they really get to invade Turkey? I don't really know. So, we're going to say Syria and Iraq join on Iran's side, which probably would help because it's a new front line, and they're not just restricted to this front line. So the rest of the Iranian forces rapidly flood into the south, and this allows for a major distraction for Turkey to fight, as now, they have another huge front to fight, and this helps once again push. And the Battle of Diyarbakir, which is street by street, building by building fighting, is going on. Very major fighting, heavy fighting over here. Greek forces start to push in from on the city of Bursa. It's not here, but it's around right here. And then they once again unite and have a large push into Turkey. Anti-government protests start to spread, as well. They're not doing very good, and they're also very corrupt, apparently. I don't know if that's 100% true, but that's what I can kind of tell. So yeah, they start to spread across the country, and once they, even in Istanbul, this is not looking too good for them. So yeah, the protests unite with each other, creating one front line. Even the Turkish military starts to join them as well. They capture Antalya along with the Greeks. The Iranians start to push in, and once Ankara falls and Istanbul falls, so does Izmir. Goodbye, Turkey. Well, that wasn't very good. So, what we have happening here is a complete rebranding of the way we see Turkey. And Iran, of course. So, first of all, Armenia and Azerbaijan are fully annexed by Iran. No, the Persian Empire. And then Azerbaijan is also as well. Iraq gets a little bit of land from this southwestern point. Mainly like this. Syria gets Hatay and a little bit of land on the border. Like this. So just these bits of land here. And yep, this whole region is completely, that's what we want. As you can see, not too much difference. Syria looks a little bit bigger. And then Iran is going to take all of this. And they are going to take Trabzon, yes, from Turkey. Which is quite a big loss. I don't know how much the resources are like over here. And Greece will not be taking Istanbul because that would not be very well. That would not go very well with the Turks. So they're going to take the entire Thracian Peninsula instead of that. They're also going to take all of this. No, they're going to take all of this land over here. And yeah, that's it. Turkey is left alone for now. And somehow, Turkey is... The new protests are actually government pro because, well, they did lose Izmir, all the peninsula, and quite a lot of land, but they freed them. So somehow they are pro-Turkish, pro-Iranian. So yeah, nice. And they kept Istanbul, so that's so good. This is our new team. And, well, Iran is going to do some very evil things in the country. So next they're going to take on Georgia, and we'll, yeah, peace treaty here, and we don't even need to talk about it. Goodbye. Yeah. Goodbye, Georgia. Sorry. Next, Iran is going to do some very snarly, snaky things here, and they're going to declare war on their allies, Qatar and the UAE, which does bring in the GCC. This is not an official alliance. Don't get worried. This is just the coalition forming to stop Iran. We also somehow have the nation of joining, as well as Lebanon, Jordan, and Palestine. They may not all work together. I know this part is very unrealistic. Same as yeah, but they're all going to unite to fight Iran, and then Iran is going to do some things, and they're going to get Yemen to join as well, because why not? It's a good distraction. So yeah, we're in this situation. I'm going to imagine there's no Houthis, there's no SGC, no whatever. It's just one united, strong Yemen. Stronger Yemen, because obviously they're not going to be as strong as any of these countries. But if they were united, they'd be a far more powerful force. As they might only go on some small offensive, but they'd be able to greatly defend their areas as well as populated areas. They'd be able to have a defensive line like over here. So yeah, they'd be fine. Yeah, anyway. Iran is doing this because they want more land and they want more oil. So Iranian forces quickly push in and capture Basra, which is a major blow for Iraq. They also absolutely sweep through Kuwait, and they push into this region. I know you may be like, why they're going in the middle of the desert? Well, quite a lot of people don't know this, but there is a lot of oil down here. This is where Iraq's oil is. They also push up to Najaf, and they capture the city. Fun. I think it has like a big cemetery there. Anyway, I was going to say some fun fact, but that doesn't really sound that fun, does it? Anyway, Iranian forces continue to push through the country of Iraq, now approaching. Oh, why did they spell Erbil wrong? Pushing now into Kurdistan. Let me fix that real quick. There we go. They continue to. Oh, no. No. Continue to push into Iraq. The city of Erbil falls, and now from here, Iraq is cooked as they lose Baghdad and they surrender. And from here, Arar falls. This region of northern Saudi is gone. Jordan gets absolutely swept through. However, the country of is able to block it because they have a very strong military that is funded greatly by the United States of America. The Turkish front pushes back into Syria and reclaims all their lost territory, and Syria collapses, Lebanon collapses, and a push into the country is attempted but doesn't go very well. They are also able to keep Amman alive, as well as Beirut, and Damascus, which is what we have here. But the rest is not going so well. Saudi is unable to fight back until they build a defensive line right around here, which from the resources that they were going to use to build the line and stuff. So yeah, that's along here. They start to push down the coast until they're stopped in this mega defensive line with trenches and stuff, whatever. Get all the workers to do that. And then intense fighting between the navies. However, we're going to assume Iran has a strong navy now. So they make a naval landing. Not there, even though it looks like it's a good spot. Because if you didn't know any terrain, well, this entire region, including in the UAE and Oman, all of this is a big fat mountain. Not one, but multiple mountains. Mountain range. It's the Hajar Mountains. Or maybe it's something different, but the tallest mountain of the UAE is also up here. Jabal Jais is very nice. I went up there for a while. And yeah, so this is not going to happen. Instead, they choose to land in Qatar, which is probably the flattest non-island country in the world. So yeah, that goes very quick because the tanks are able to swiftly roll. And from here, the front explodes, as this is quite an easy area to invade. Dammam is properly held, as this is one of the areas, Saudi's main refineries and stuff. Dog, can you please not? Thank you. It's not my dog. It's just next door or something. Jalan Bani Buwali. I love that city. I don't. I don't know. It just sounds cool. So yeah, Iran makes a landing over here, and from here it doesn't look good. As now, oh yeah, we haven't talked about Yemen. Saudi forces attempt to push in the north, and so does Omani. But from here, the Yemenis are able to defend, even pushing into Saudi and Yemen, something like this. Iranian forces completely eradicate the UAE and Oman, because we're going to say they're quite strong. And Saudi greatly overestimated themselves and underestimated Iran. So yeah, this does not go well. Riyadh falls. Dammam falls. Tail. Hatabuk. Medina. Encirclement. Boom. Encirclement. Boom, boom. Boom. And yeah. Goodbye. And Saudi decides to surrender because they don't want to die. And then, no nukes. Goodbye. Okay, peace treaty. Boom. Boom, boom. 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 Yeah, I think that's good. And then we're going to do a good old splitteroo. Iran's going to take all of this from Syria. No, more. They're going to take all of this from Syria, as well as this region from Jordan. And why can't I get a good border? They're going to push up to here in Saudi, annexing this whole northern region. Oh my god, why can't I draw this? Okay. Push up to this northern region. There we go. Capturing this and taking all of this from Turkey. Turkey is also going to annex all of this, including the Golan Heights from... We continue to advance. What am I on about? They're pushing through, and yeah, this is what we got. So now let's get rid of the capital so we can see this a little bit better. Yep, there you go. Full annexation of Kuwait and Iraq, which is quite a big task. But remember, assimilation, indoctrination. Okay, that sounded quite, like, bad, but that's what countries like to do when they take on this much land. Look at Germany between the years 1938, because of Austria, right? Anschluss. And 1945. Yeah, they did loads of things. Weird things to some groups. Yeah, but we don't talk about that. That looks really cool, I think, this border. So basically, oh yeah, they also annex Bahrain. And yeah, that's mostly it. They also annex the northern regions, the UAE. Ras Al Khaimah, Fujairah, goodbye. We'll miss you. They do this because, first of all, there's a fairly big port over here in Fujairah, and second of all, because this makes sure they have full control of the Strait of Hormuz, because now there's no Omani exclave to stop that. They also capture these two as to just further cement their claim over like Saudi and stuff. But yeah, so Turkey will annex Syria, the better, more important part of Syria, I think. I'm just assuming. And Lebanon. So yeah, they're happy. They're still not 100% happy though, because they lost like to Greece and stuff. But yeah, this is New Turkey. And Iran is left like this. So now we have a new puppet state forming. Puppet state of the UAE. And Oman is left as they are. Except, no, they're not. Because now we're going to have Yemen do their thing. Who doesn't want to be ruled by Yemen? I don't know if you want to answer that. Yemen will annex this whole region over here, southern Saudi, as well as this part of Oman. So yeah, they got a big upgrade. I know even a glow up because their borders look good. I like this very much. Yep, this is what we got here. And now they have to leave the war. Very cool. Is that a new map? Yemen looks pretty cool. Did they get Jazan? I think I gave them Jazan. Yeah, they did. coup. So a new mega Iran with all of this. This is core Iran. And the final event of today's video. Oh, actually, one more thing. Final 2 events of this video. Number 1, they wanted access to the Red Sea, and they get just that, taking the port of Aqaba in the south, turning all the marinas and hotels, well, into ports, and then they can do the rest with over here in the Arabian Gulf. And the final 2 events are a double jumping Kazakhstan and Pakistan. And I think we know who's going to be helping out with one of them, but the other one, they'll be fine on their own. So, India. This is not good. With India on your team, you're probably going to beat Pakistan. I'm not going to lie. So now Pakistan is like, and we're going to assume by this point Iran has a lot of nukes. So, like, there's no point of nuking each other because you're all going to just get blitzed. Iran quickly captures the southern region of Kazakhstan, and Kazakhstan has really no way of resisting this huge onslaught. So, push up north, capture the capital, and the country is gone within 2 months. Because if they were smaller, it'd be a lot sooner. But they are absolutely huge, so that would take a bit longer. Anyway, Iranian forces quickly enter into this peninsula over here. It's not a peninsula. I don't know what kind of thing that is. This jut of land. Yeah. India pushes in, and Pakistan, having to fight a 2-front war against 2 top 10 powers, is not really that good because they are a top 10 power themselves. But that's like, imagine America have to fight Russia and China on their own. So that probably wouldn't go too well. Iran continues to push in from the west, and yeah, this is Pakistan. I'm not gonna say that you're gonna win this because I don't want to get chased in the comments, but like, you're not gonna win this. I'm sorry, it's not happening for you today. Quetta falls, and then they push on Multan as well, and Lahore falls, and from there, after Lahore falls, they capture the capital and the north, and they slowly push in. The final objective is to capture Karachi, so Iranian forces stop their advances elsewhere, push towards the city along with Iranians, where this is the final Pakistani holdout. And from here, they have a few small garrisons pushing into the country. And goodbye. So, you Pakistanis aren't going to like this border, I'm sorry, but peace treaty here. We're going to do a classic Cold War style thing. We're going to do that. Wait, actually, no. We're going to split Pakistan perfectly in half. Same with Islamabad. Iran gets slightly more because, well, India got more population because they have the entire Punjab area, which is where most Pakistanis live. They did get Karachi, which is like the biggest city in Pakistan. And they got over half of the capital, but not all of it. And then same with Pakistan. Yeah, so Pakistan does not exist anymore. Simple as that. Yeah, this is... I can't tell if this looks good or not. I'm not going to say it looks. Because 3, 2, 1, reveal. Ooh, that looks so good. I really like that border. So yeah, if you enjoyed... Oh, okay. If you enjoyed the new Iran, the Iranian Empire video, please make sure to like, subscribe. They also annexed the Seychelles as a new holiday destination, because why not? So yeah, make sure to like, subscribe. Goodbye.